Discover the remarkable story of Thomas Edison, one of history's greatest inventors and innovators whose persistence helped transform the modern world. In this documentary, we explore Thomas Edison's journey from a curious young experimenter to one of the most influential inventors and entrepreneurs in history. From electric lighting and communication technology to the creation of organized research laboratories, Edison's work changed the way people lived and inspired generations of innovators. More than a story about inventions, this documentary reveals timeless lessons about perseverance, curiosity, teamwork, experimentation, and the importance of continuing to improve even when success seems far away. Thomas Edison showed the world that failure is not the end of the journey. Every experiment, every mistake, and every challenge can become a step toward discovery. Whether you're an entrepreneur, inventor, investor, student, or lifelong learner, Edison's story offers powerful lessons about turning ideas into reality. Featured in the Legends series, Benjamin Graham, Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, John Templeton, Jack Bogle, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Jensen Huang, Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison. If you enjoyed this documentary, please like, subscribe, and share the lesson from Thomas Edison that inspired you the most. New documentaries exploring legendary investors, inventors, entrepreneurs, and visionaries are coming soon. Until next time, keep learning from the legends.
Thomas Edison, the inventor who turned ideas into reality. Part 1. The Power of Persistence. What separates an ordinary idea from an invention that changes the world? Is it intelligence, luck, opportunity, or something much simpler? The willingness to keep going when everyone else gives up. Few people embody that lesson more than Thomas Edison. He helped transform the modern world through inventions that changed how people lived, worked, and communicated. Yet his greatest achievement may not have been any single invention. It was his relentless belief that every problem had a solution, if someone was willing to work long enough to find it. His story is not simply about light bulbs. It is about perseverance, curiosity, experimentation, and the discipline to turn imagination into reality. This is the story of Thomas Edison, the inventor who proved that extraordinary success is often built one experiment at a time. Chapter 1. A Curious Child. Thomas Edison was curious from an early age. He constantly asked questions. How did things work? Why did they work that way? Could they be improved? His curiosity often led him to conduct small experiments. Sometimes they succeeded, sometimes they failed. But every experiment taught him something new. Rather than fearing mistakes, Edison welcomed them as part of learning. That mindset would remain with him throughout his life. Great inventors are not born knowing the answers. They become great because they never stop asking questions. Chapter 2. Learning Outside the Classroom. Edison's formal education was brief. Instead, much of his learning came through reading, observation, and experience. He developed a habit of teaching himself. Books became mentors. Experiments became classrooms. Failures became teachers. This self-directed approach helped him think independently. He wasn't limited by conventional thinking. He explored ideas because he wanted to understand them, not because someone assigned them. His education never truly ended. And perhaps that is one of his greatest lessons. The most valuable education is often the one we continue pursuing throughout our lives. Chapter 3. Every problem is an opportunity. As a young man, Edison worked in telegraphy. The job exposed him to communication technology and the practical challenges people faced every day. Instead of simply accepting those problems, he looked for ways to solve them. Every inconvenience became an opportunity. Every obstacle became a puzzle. This habit shaped his future. Innovation begins by noticing what others overlook. Sometimes the next great invention starts with a simple question: how can this be made better? Chapter 4. Building an Invention Factory. Unlike many inventors who worked alone, Edison envisioned something different. He built laboratories where teams of skilled people could experiment together. Ideas were shared. Tests were repeated. Failures were analyzed. Success became a collaborative effort. Edison understood that innovation is rarely a single moment of inspiration. It is a process, a disciplined pursuit of improvement. By combining creativity with teamwork, he helped establish a new model for research and invention that continues to influence companies and laboratories around the world today. Closing reflection. Thomas Edison reminds us that remarkable achievements rarely happen through inspiration alone. They are built through curiosity, hard work, experimentation, and the determination to keep improving. In the next chapter, we'll explore Edison's most famous inventions, the challenges he faced, and the timeless lesson that persistence often matters more than perfection. Thomas Edison, the inventor who turned ideas into reality. Part 2, Turning Persistence into Progress. Chapter 5, The Search for a Better Light. When people hear the name Thomas Edison, they often think of the light bulb, but the story is far more complex than a single invention. Many inventors had experimented with electric lighting before Edison. His goal was not simply to create a light bulb. His goal was to create one that was practical, reliable, affordable, and capable of being used in homes and businesses around the world. That required countless experiments, different materials, different designs, different ideas. Each unsuccessful attempt brought him one step closer to a working solution. Progress is often built not by one brilliant moment, but by thousands of careful improvements. Chapter 6, The Power of Persistence. Thomas Edison is often remembered for his remarkable persistence. When experiments failed, he did not see them as wasted effort. He saw them as information. Each result eliminated another possibility. Each lesson pointed toward a better solution. Persistence is not simply refusing to quit. It is continuing to learn while moving forward. That mindset transforms setbacks into stepping stones. The greatest breakthroughs often belong to those who continue working after others decide the challenge is impossible. Chapter 7, Innovation Through Teamwork. Edison understood something that many people overlooked. Large achievements rarely come from one person working alone. His laboratories brought together engineers, machinists, scientists, and skilled craftsmen. Ideas were tested, improved, questioned, refined. Innovation became a shared effort. Great leaders do not need to know everything. They create an environment where talented people can solve problems together. The strongest ideas often emerge through collaboration rather than competition. Chapter 8, Building More Than Inventions. Thomas Edison was not only an inventor, he was also an entrepreneur. He understood that an invention changes the world only when people can actually use it. Creating a product was only part of the challenge. It also needed manufacturing, distribution, reliable systems, and public trust. Innovation reaches its full potential when ideas become practical solutions that improve everyday life. That lesson remains just as important for today's entrepreneurs as it was in Edison's time. Closing reflection. Thomas Edison reminds us that remarkable success rarely comes from inspiration alone. It grows through disciplined effort, persistent experimentation, collaboration, and the determination to transform ideas into something that serves others. Every invention begins as a possibility, but it becomes reality only through consistent work. In the next chapter, we'll explore the obstacles Edison faced, the criticism he encountered, and why his greatest legacy may not be any single invention, but the mindset he brought to solving problems. Thomas Edison, the inventor who turned ideas into reality. Part 3, A Mind That Never Stopped Learning. Chapter 9, Learning from Every Failure. Every inventor encounters disappointment. Experiments fail. Ideas fall short. Plans must be revised. Thomas Edison understood that failure was not the opposite of success. It was part of the journey. Each unsuccessful experiment answered an important question. Each mistake revealed what did not work. Instead of becoming discouraged, Edison became more informed. He once approached problems with a belief that every attempt brought him closer to a solution. This mindset allowed him to continue when others might have given up. Failure, when treated as a teacher, becomes one of life's greatest sources of wisdom. Chapter 10, Adapting to a Changing World. Innovation never stands still. New discoveries create new opportunities. Old methods are replaced by better ones. Thomas Edison recognized that progress required flexibility. An inventor cannot become attached to yesterday's ideas. Each generation faces new challenges. Each challenge requires fresh thinking. The willingness to adapt is one of the greatest strengths any individual or organization can possess. The future belongs to those who continue learning rather than those who rely only on past success. Chapter 11. Work with Purpose. To Thomas Edison, invention was never simply about creating something new. It was about solving real problems. How could communication become faster? How could homes become brighter? How could technology improve everyday life? Purpose gave direction to his work. When we focus on solving meaningful problems, our efforts often create value far beyond ourselves. The most enduring innovations are those that make life better for others. Purpose transforms effort into impact. Chapter 12. The Habit of Improvement. Thomas Edison believed that excellence comes through continual refinement. Rarely is the first version the best version. Whether designing an invention, building a business, or developing a skill, improvement comes through repetition, testing, observing, adjusting, trying again. This habit of continuous improvement remains one of the most valuable lessons from Edison's life. Small improvements, repeated consistently over time, often produce extraordinary results. Great achievements are rarely built all at once. They are built one improvement at a time. Closing reflection. Thomas Edison reminds us that success belongs not only to those with ideas, but to those willing to improve those ideas through patience and persistence. Innovation is a journey. Learning is a lifelong process. And every setback contains a possibility of a better solution. In the final chapter, we'll explore Thomas Edison's enduring legacy and the timeless principles that continue to inspire inventors, entrepreneurs, and lifelong learners around the world.
As we've been working on these documentaries, I've noticed a beautiful pattern emerging. Benjamin Graham taught rational thinking. Charlie Munger taught multidisciplinary wisdom. Peter Lynch taught observation. Jack Bogle taught simplicity. Steve Jobs taught vision. Bill Gates taught lifelong learning. Jensen Huang taught long-term innovation. Nikola Tesla taught imagination. Thomas Edison teaches persistence. Each documentary adds another timeless principle, and together they form something much bigger than a series of biographies. They become a library of ideas that people can return to throughout their lives.
Thomas Edison, the inventor who turned ideas into reality. Part 4, The Timeless Lesson. Chapter 13. The difference between an idea and an achievement. Ideas are everywhere. People imagine new possibilities every day, but only a small number of ideas become reality. The difference is execution. Thomas Edison understood that an idea has value only when someone is willing to do the difficult work of bringing it to life. An invention requires testing, patience, improvement, and countless decisions along the way. Dreaming is the beginning. Building is the challenge. Edison reminds us that creativity becomes powerful when combined with discipline. A great idea is only the first step. The journey afterward is what creates lasting impact. Chapter 14. Creating a Culture of Innovation. One of Edison's greatest contributions was not only the inventions associated with his name, it was the way he approached invention itself. He helped create a model where teams of people could work together to solve complex problems. Research, experimentation, testing, improvement. This approach influenced how modern companies develop new technologies. Today, many of the world's greatest organizations operate on similar principles. Innovation is not just a moment of inspiration. It is a process, a culture, a commitment to finding better solutions. Chapter 15. The Legacy of Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison lived during a period of extraordinary change. The world moved from limited communication and traditional industries toward a new age of electricity, technology, and mass production. His inventions helped accelerate that transformation. But perhaps his greatest legacy was the example he set. He showed that curiosity can become discovery, that persistence can overcome obstacles, that teamwork can multiply human ability, and that progress belongs to those willing to keep searching for better answers. Chapter 16. The Timeless Lesson. Every generation faces problems that seem impossible. Every generation needs people willing to search for solutions. Thomas Edison teaches us that success is rarely created by one perfect moment. It is created through thousands of small efforts. One experiment, one improvement, one lesson learned, one more attempt. The world remembers the final achievement, but behind every achievement are years of work that few people see. The lesson is simple. Do not fear failure. Do not wait for perfection. Keep learning, keep improving, keep building, because the future belongs to those who are willing to create it. Closing reflection. Thomas Edison changed the world not only because he invented remarkable technologies, but because he showed humanity a powerful way of thinking, a curious mind, a determined spirit, and a willingness to continue even when the path was difficult. His journey reminds us that greatness is not reserved for people who never struggle. Greatness belongs to those who continue moving forward despite struggle. The inventions of yesterday became the foundations of today, and the ideas we build today may become the foundations of tomorrow. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life and lessons of Thomas Edison. If you enjoyed this documentary, consider subscribing as we continue exploring the timeless wisdom of history's greatest inventors, innovators, investors, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Because every legend leaves behind more than achievements. They leave behind lessons, and those lessons can inspire generations. Until next time, keep learning from the legends.